Hey you, wanna make a bit of money? You should do what I did. Get into farming. See this? I got this, selling berries. They come out of the bloody ground! I couldn't believe it! You see that? It's made of chicken. It's made of chicken. You kill it, you get a free chicken out of it. You can sell it to people, or don't kill it. Bloody eggs come out of their asses. Bloody hell! You know sheep. A bit woolly, huh? It's wool! Pull it off, sell it, bloody grows back again. You cannot lose! Look at all this milk. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune. But don't you worry, because you are coming with me along for the ride. And we are truly going to expand this operation to the levels unprecedented ever before. We are gonna turn this little mushroom village into a huge dwarf fortress. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's a hill for fortress, all rights reserved, by the way. So, welcome to Elin, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you're ready for some hardcore base building, because we are about to make a huge profit. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Before we can make any profit, so we can finally bring our waifu to life, we need to do one unfortunate thing, and that's of course farmer's gameplay. As you can probably imagine, this will involve a lot, and I mean a lot, of digging through the dirt. And quite possibly being an alcoholic. Some would argue that it is actually not a part of being a farmer, but on the other hand it is part of being a hillfolk. But I would certainly argue that doing all of this, being sober, might actually be a bit of an unrealistic expectation on anybody who is supposed to do all of this. That being said, I certainly hope that you are enjoying this 3000% sped up footage as I was enjoying doing it without being able to speed up my actual life. But Kessel, I hear you say, why are we even expanding a field to such a high level? Wouldn't we need some insane fertility in order to be able to sustain it? Well, I do have some good news for you. We have already increased our fertility level through the policy to level 20, which seems to be the maximum. But more importantly, we've hired around 24 people who have either the job of a gardener or a farmer, maybe even both, in order to increase our fertility level to the highest possible level. Now the only remaining method of increasing our fertility is actually through expanding of our land. Not only it will help us to increase the area of our land physically, but also it will increase the overall fertility level of the entire plot. And for this we need lots and lots of gold, and that's why we are paying additional taxes to Massilia. By the way, have you noticed that there is something a little bit strange about the gold they are sending? I can't quite put my finger on this, but it just feels somehow different. I guess we will never truly know. Thankfully, I've been stockpiling gold for the last 2.5 years, just so we can do it in one fell swoop. And who could be a better person to help us deliver this insane amount of gold to the capital other than Loitel, the only person in the game with a huge, crippling debt. And now, to enjoy this insane spending even better, let's listen to the sped up Elin soundtrack, because I kinda think it sounds funny. And behold, it is finally done. It can't be expanded any further, which means we have achieved the maximum amount, and that's 96 kilometers square. That's about like 18,000 football fields, I think. And of course, we are running into one problem. We have negative fertility now, and this is because we managed to get additional vegetation that we didn't own before. Now it is no longer much of a problem, because we have a full control over the map, because we have a very high hearth level. This means we can just get rid of it with few clicks. And now that's out of the way, we are finally ready to accomplish our great task. So behold, because you are about to witness something truly magnificent. A huge field. Nice. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with myself or I'm just losing my mind. Oh, wait a second. Was this always here? 2 nefarious moons? Huh. Okay, so now we know that we have around 750 fertility. We know how many flowers we can put, and you've guessed it, we'll be trying to get as much honey as possible. The only thing is that we don't know how many beehives we actually can put down in order to get the best value out of those 750 flowers. By the way, when you want to get as many beehives as possible, you can utilize Kettle, and with a little bit of alchemical magic, he will hopefully aid us in creating even more beehives. If you didn't know, he basically can recreate anything we created ourselves in a base, and beehives are one one of such items. Normally, the grind for queen bees is quite problematic, but thankfully with his skills we can actually skip most of the grind and create as many beehives as we want. Every 30 days I'm getting 5 of them. Now for a little test. As you might have noticed, I created a field of flowers in meadows and will be testing it for the best ratio of beehives per 100 flowers. I'll be leaving meadows for 25 days in order to see how much honey is being produced for each setup. I'll be conducting each test 3 times in order to account for random variation. The setups are follow. 5 beehives, 10 beehives and 20 beehives, all for 100 flowers. And hopefully with a little bit of editing magic, now we'll see the results of this testing on the screen. As you can hopefully see from this, 10 beehives provided exactly the same result as utilizing 20 beehives. Not only that, but utilizing 5 beehives provided, well, a little bit more than half of the yield of 10 or 20 beehives. I did check this online before, and a lot of people seem to agree that 10 flowers per 1 beehive is a good amount, but there also might be a little bit of diminishing returns as you place more and more beehives into your base. But don't you worry about the sisters, because I will test this. We don't have to wonder. I will plant 750 flowers for you to see that there are surely no diminishing returns, because if there are, I will certainly lose my mind and you will see it in the quality of this video. And there will be no returning from this, let me tell you. So now, behold a field of flowers. The explosions in the background. And now let's get to some proper honey harvesting, and of course for this we had to place some beehives and of course the walls to protect it from the honey badgers. Might not be a real threat, by the way. Now let's see how much honey we actually managed to get out of this whole entire endeavor. You see, based on our initial trials with 100 flowers, we received around 200 honey. This time around, we should anticipate around 1,500 honey with 750 flowers. Unfortunately though, I seem to be getting around 500 honey, and you know what that means. Well, that being said, there still might be something out there I'm missing. I have tried 2 different setups, some of them based on proximity to the flowers, some of them based on spacing of beehives to themselves. None of them seem to have any actual effect on the amount of honey being produced, and that's why I'm still thinking it's diminishing returns. Well, things might not have went exactly according to the plan, and I might have lost my mind along the way, but we shouldn't be worried about this. We still managed to get a really good amount of honey, and with such an amount, we can get a really sweet profit. But at this stage we still don't know exactly what we want to sell. You see, honey has quite a lot of byproducts. We can utilize 2 honeycombs on a millstone in order to create a pot of honey. Not only that, but we can also throw it into, and that's a nemesis of a word for me, kiln, and not get 1, but actually 2 bags of sugar. Quite a deal, isn't it? That means that we can sell honey either as a honeycomb, a bag of sugar, or a pot of honey. Not only this, but with utilization of a brewing barrel, we can also make alcohol out of all 3 of them. And in order to get the best profit, we need to check what is the pricing on all 6 of them. As you can see, a pot of honey is technically the most expensive one. The only problem is that it actually takes 2 honeycombs in order to make it. On the other hand, from 1 honeycomb we can actually make 2 bags of sugar, and that means that we get the best value on it. This is also the reason why we get the best deal on sugar wine, and that's exactly what we're gonna be making. But making so much profit will not be easy, and that's because we not only have to empty all the beehives manually, because I still haven't figured out how to do it otherwise, but also bring this extremely heavy, sweet and delicious substance all the way to our kiln? And now we have to spend so much stamina and so much time that more honey will be made in time as we are trying to make all the honey into sugar. And that's of course great news, because it means more work for us and more profit for our stakeholders. And this leads us to the very final question of this entire video. Is the grind truly worth it? Is it truly worth giving all these sugary drinks to all the children in Palmia, so we will only contribute to the obesity epidemic? For what? For monetary gain? I'll let you answer this all by yourself, because I am too busy being rich. Woo! And I know what some of you are thinking. Kessel, we cannot keep selling sugar to people. That's just unhealthy. That's not gonna help people. Well, I have only one thing to say to you. You have been swayed. You have been manipulated. They are pulling your strings. The big berry industry is trying to convince you that their product is somehow better. All I'm gonna tell you is their product is exactly the same. The only difference is that their profits are smaller, which means that they are insignificant. They're inferior. I have planted 750 berries just to prove this to you. And let's have a look at the evidence. All the shareholders will agree. We are much better off. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Truly appreciate you all.